We talked about having 2 meetings with coaches, one focused on data analysis and how do we look at these things? Common data across the area, growth data across the area, and what trends does that show? How do we analyze that to guide our instruction and set goals with students, which pulls them into that PLC process? And there was something else, Lauren, that Nick said. Oh,
Yeah, feel free to add
we
in.
could say our, this will help us set our UIP school goal, right? It could be action steps in our UIP, and so the sooner we were to do that, the better. And we would all be on the same page instead of saying, what are you doing for your UIP goal? Second would be a conversation about processes of effective PLC teams. What's in place with those teams? Why do they work? But we have to have that with coaches, because coaches often see workings we don't see, or they have conversations we don't hear or aren't part of. So what's working in buildings, and how do we capitalize on characteristics of effective teams? Love it. Reaction?
How do you guys react to that? What part works for you? What part might feed ours or connect with ours?
The data analysis.
First one's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Matches our.
It's our favorite too.
Okay. All right.
Well, I love the idea that it would guide our UIP. Like, I think that's great. Write that down.
And that would work for all of us.
So we don't forget that part.
Other reactions,
Helps us be
Wanda,
productive.
Andy.
I see lots of similarities with, especially the data analysis pieces, and even the second one about the effective PLCs. I think that's also a part of the conversation on the data
Sweet.
Oh, that's
that
true.
we had over here. What worked well, and those teams who did well, what did they do? Those
Okay.
types of things. So very similar.
Okay. Okay.
We had all that in one meeting.
You're very ambitious. Okay, so
Meredith is planning this, isn't she?
group 2, if you guys can share our plan for the 2 days, that would be two sessions. That'd be great. Maybe split it up. That's fine. Like, Andy, if you want to do the CFA one, and Meredith, if you want to do that one. Great. So, you're getting this too, Stephen. Great.
So session 1 is very similar, bringing the data for reading and math and reflecting, well, that's the second part, but looking at it for strengths in teams and strengths in PLCs. We want the coaches there. We want to follow the PLC process, so go through question 1, question 2, all the way through. What's going well, which content, which teams, which PLCs, and then what do we think the differences are, but what can we capitalize on? So if there's a team that's being really successful, what about their PLC is different? And how can we start doing that? But then reflecting on this process of being really transparent with our data, because the next time we meet, we're gonna ask teachers to do it, and so how can we support them in that?
And common formative assessments, so spend a less amount of time talking about the what and the why, but also spend some time talking about that bigger picture idea. But then really the big part of that is since I think we're all doing CFAs to a certain understanding and we all kind of get it, but it's that big part of actually what does that conversation look like when you get into question 2, but especially question 3, okay, here's the data. Now how do we facilitate conversations of teachers being together to compare and contrast their strategies to explain different results to be able to optimize their next steps within that same content, within that same unit cycle. CFAs.
Can I just add that we would then take some of that out into, the idea was to take some of that out and start applying it.
To replicate it in grade.
And bring it back in and see what your experiences are. So again, kind of like the PLC model, go do it, come back and reflect on it. Okay, thank you. What are your reactions? Yeah, from the other two.
Surprised?
I like how
Okay.
it overlaps with our day 1.
Sweet.
A lot of great thinking.
Any other reactions? Okay.